How's it going, everybody? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformative review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing 2 for 1. We've got Battle Slash and Road Trap, and these are the Power of the Primes Duocons. Now, back in G1, back for you guys who are younger than the age of 30 and may not be super familiar with G1. Back in G1, we had a couple sets of guys called Duocons, and they combined together to make one robot mode, but it separated into 2 alternate modes. And we had a pair that separated into a helicopter and a kind of SUV alternate modes, and then we had a pair that separated into an airplane and a tank alternate modes. And they didn't have any robot modes and the individual robot modes, so Hasbro came around and designed them with individual robot modes, which I think is super awesome, by the way. Technically, Overlord was a Duocon as well, because he also turned into an airplane and a tank, and he had one robot mode. But these are actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I've reviewed a couple of the Power of the Primes figures, and I think that they're okay. If you want to get them, you can get them. If not, and no worries or whatnot. These are actually the only figures from Power of the Primes that I am really interested in and that I bought because I like them. I like them a lot, and I want to support this, and I want Hasbro to make the other set as well because they're also cool. Fun fact, by the way, in the comics continuity, the whole concept behind the Duocons is Shockwave was doing experiments trying to develop a transformer that had 2 alt modes, and one of his unsuccessful experiments, but had its own flavor of success, I guess, is one robot that had 2 alt modes, 2 separate alt modes. So that's what the Duocons were in the comic continuity. But yeah, so let's just focus on one of these guys. So this one is Battle Slash. Yes, Battle Slash. And he's a primarily white looking guy. He's got some good paint apps on him. I'm really glad that this size scale doesn't have any stickers yet. Fingers crossed, like so. Because Hasbro is actually pretty good at doing the paint apps and the tampo prints. And I'd hate to see them turn into stickers like the Voyagers and the Leader class figures are all doing. Because I think stickers suck. But in terms of articulation, his head is on a swivel. Just a swivel. His arms are actually really interesting. They're on a ball joint, but the ball joint comes in from the back, not from the side. And so, I mean, it allows him to move his arm all around like this. He can hit himself in the head with the back of his hand. Also, he can move it forward. So, I mean, it's a different position. Doesn't allow quite the same ranges of freedom, but it does everything it should do, I think. He's got a ball joint at the elbow, which allows him to bend about 90 degrees, rotate all around, so it kind of works like a bicep swivel as well. No waist joint. That's okay, though, because he has transformation stuff. Hips, he's got, like, birthing hips. And they will go basically a full Van Damme, maybe slightly more, all the way forward, all the way back, most of the way back. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this thing kind of gets in the way, but you move it all around that and deal with it. He's got a ball joint at the knee, which allows for about 90 degrees almost. Rotation as well. No ankle articulation, but that's okay. He does also have a little whirly weapon thing. Yes. I don't know why, but there's a simple pleasure in that. But let's get him transformed up. So to do that, we're going to open him up like this, flip his head in. We're going to rotate these around. Now his arms are going to go together like this. There's a hinge in here, right? So we're going to bend those together like that. Same with this other side here. Gonna bend those together. Oh, that hinge is like kind of tight. Okay, it's really tight. Maybe it would help if I bent it the right way. Never claimed on being the brightest person in the world, so yeah. There's a little tab here and a slot in there. Tabs and slots go together. Now we're going to take before we put these together, we're going to pop this panel right here just a bit. That allows us to move these all the way out. Because, as I'm playing with this, and this gets me every time, I keep on forgetting that these need to go all the way back first. They won't do that while those are together. We're going to extend these out and put these little helicopter tails together. There's peg, slot, bam, bam. Put these back up. Tap these back together. There's a tab right here, a slot right in there. That'll go in there. This will come down. And that is a helicopter mode, more or less. It's not really helicopter mode until I can get this rotating freely. Yeah, now it's a helicopter mode. And it's, you know, kind of cute little helicopter mode. You know, he's got this little rotor there and he's got the little tail there. And, you know, now these kind of look like little turbine engines, which is great. It's got a big gaping hole in the front, but you know what? We can let it slide. Little Decepticon symbol there. I like it. It's fun. So we're going to stick him over off the side. Now we're going to look at Road Trap. Road Trap is a blue guy. He's feeling blue. Really nice tampo printing on the front. Like, I really like all that. In terms of articulation, he's got his head is on a swivel. His shoulders are on a ball joint. This is more of the traditional type of ball joint, which means if you can run it around, pull it all the way out. Elbows on a ball joint, so he gets just over 90 degrees. Plus acts as a swivel. Hips are a ball joint. They'll go forward that much, backward that much, go out all the way. Knees are also on a ball joint, so they will bend a little more than 90 degrees. It's interesting though, because he's got it's just his lower leg doesn't really look like a lower leg. It just looks like a car front. So like he bends his leg, and you're like, yeah, is that what that is? You're bending your leg. Gotcha. So really big heel support here. That'll become apparent why later. But in terms of posing this guy, of course, he does have other things that he does, so he will tend to split down the middle. So just be patient with that. But this guy's also really kind of a cool little figure. Kind of hollow on the back, but whatever. We can deal with it. To get him transformed up, what you're going to do is you're going to take there's hinges right here. Flip that around. Flip that around. We're going to, there's a hinge down here. So this is his knee right here. There's a hinge here. We're going to pull that down on that hinge till the windshield fits into that spot. These will peg together. You can see there's a pile of pegs and tabs in there. And just kind of chunk them all together and they'll fit. Now this whole chest and arm section here is on a double hinge, and it will come down until it basically lines up with the front of the vehicle. And then this part here is going to come around like this. And so his head's going to basically hide under there like that. One thing that you might want to do is behind his wheels, he's got this little bar sticking out. And there's a little tab in here. The tab doesn't really do anything. That's just a locating tab. But if you push it down, it'll locate onto his fist hole, and that will keep his wheels in place. Then you just kind of like maneuver everything to make sure that all the tabs line up, that everything's connected together. And he makes this cute little, you know, SUV thingamajig, this little car truck thing. Right. So there they are next to each other. These are actually extremely reminiscent of their G1 selves. Just really nice. A little bit empty back there, but we'll forgive it. Just as this guy's a little bit empty out here. There's no way for them to combine in this mode, really. Yeah, just like that. There are a couple tabs here that you can connect the leg slots of a Titan Master or a Prime Master onto them. And then a couple of them here. If you so desire. I don't. So whatevs. Then these guys also can combine. So let's get them back into combined mode. To do that, we're going to basically stand this guy up. So we're going to split him here, and he'll split all the way back. We're going to unpeg this from the hand. If you lift up on this windshield ever so slightly, that'll make this bend like 50 million times better. Otherwise, you're going to fight it. And then we're going to take this head all the way up, and we're going to split it all the way down. And that's this guy in pants mode. This guy here, we're going to take these and we're going to split them and pull them all. Let's untab this. Pull them all the way down. No, let's not do that yet. We still got to deal with these things. These arms, I swear, just always getting in the way. They tab in, by the way. There's these slots right here. There's tabs here on the back of this white panel here. Those tabs peg into that, and they're quite secure. So, like, they won't just like casually unpop when you pull something out. You got to make an effort, a conscious effort, to do something about them. And so for the arms in this mode, like, you can kind of fit them together here. What I generally tend to do, I've seen them also done where you bend this arm at this joint here, and then this whole thing flips around, and then you put them like, this is what I usually do. Like that. And I don't know that that's necessarily the right way to do it, or even the best way to do it. But how I see a lot of people doing it is they position it all in a different way, basically like this, and then this thing like wanders around freely, and it makes him look like he's got like a big old ding dong. And I think that's dumb. So I put him like this. That way I can tab these arms back together. like so. And it keeps the propeller in a good spot, and it keeps, keeps anything from feeling too weird or floppy. These will come down, rotate them, pull this up, and look, now he's got fist holes. Open up this panel here, bring out his combined mode head. Yes. And now this slot here just pegs onto his head of this other guy. It really does, I swear. Yeah, like that. And now Battletrap and Road Trap and Battle Slash become Battletrap, which is the name that we've always known it as. And he looks good. He's about the size of a deluxe class figure, which is just perfect, I think. It just really looks good, front and back. With the way I got him combined together, this doesn't wiggle around too much. Also worth noting that he's got a peg hole right there. This is for your standard, Tamashii stage type, stand. Tamashii stage Figma. The Iron Factory stands come with an adapter for that hole as well. So there's quite a few options of stands you can use for aerial poses and whatnot. For this guy, he's got a swivel here. His head is like all hollow. Swivel here. Ball joint at the shoulders. It'll go out that far. Ball joint at the elbow. Gives him about a little less than 90-degree posability. Swivel here as well. He's got a waist swivel. His hips go forward that much, go backwards that much, go outwards that much. He can pogo stick. What his legs are a bit weird because you've got, so basically the mid, basically what was the hip joint on the previous figure is now the knee joint on this figure, and what was the knee joint on Road something, I don't know, is now the ankle joint on this guy. But just all of this kind of gets in the way a little bit. So when you bend his knee, it looks a little silly, kind of, because there's just all this chunk that's moving with it. And it all likes to come loose all the time. But, you can get a pretty decent range of ankle articulation out of it, which is nice. And so, like, he's a pretty posable guy. In fact, and you can take this joint here that you're used to get this part, this connection joint out of the way for the top guy's robot mode. Like, you can use that as a little bit of a ab crunch if you want. Not too much, because then you start like getting weird stuff going on. But yeah, he'll ab crunch a little bit. He'll look around quite a bit. He doesn't come with any weapons, which is a bit of a shame, but you know what? He's got the 5mm pegs. All these figures have 5mm pegs for their hands. And so, like, he'll hold any kind of weapons you want him to hold. And just looks really good. I recommend it. This is my favorite figure from the Power of the Primes line. And it's kind of silly that it's just a couple, Legends class figures. But that's how it is, man. Like my appreciation of a figure doesn't have to do with its size. It has to do with the engineering and the ingenuity, more so. And this guy has definitely got both of those. So I recommend him. I think you should get him. He's awesome. I like it a lot. But anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. This is Zachamus Prime signing off. Everybody have a great day and be good to each other. I'll see you later.